That was Hitler. He was in Europe. I said that was Hitler. Hitler was in Europe. And this Hitler was practicing apartheid. Yes, Hitler was practicing apartheid. And those Europeans and Jews wanted it to die. Those Europeans and Jews wanted it to quench. One more time. That was Hitler. He was in Europe. That was Hitler. I say he was in Europe. And that Hitler was practicing apartheid. Yes, Hitler was practicing apartheid. And those Europeans and Jews wanted him to die. Oh yes, Europeans and Jews condemned him to death. That was war. I said that was war. Yes, that was war between Hitler and Europe. And that was war to eradicate apartheid in Europe. And that was war to eradicate apartheid in Europe. And all the whole world was invited to fight. The whole world was invited to fight. Yes, the whole world was invited to fight. Because America was invited to fight. Japan was invited to fight. Russia was invited to fight. France was invited to fight. Not only that, Africa was invited to fight. Yes, Africa was invited to fight. My father and your father were invited to fight. My father and your father were invited to fight. Like obedient children, we went there to fight. Like obedient children, we went there to die. I said like obedient children, we went there to fight. Oh yes, like obedient children, we went there to quench. We don't help them finish. Now they don't want to help us. There are so many Hitlers in Africa today. I said there are so many Hitlers in Africa today. There are so many mercenaries in Africa today. I said there are so many mercenaries ruling Africa today. Some in Botswana, some in Namibia, some in Sao Tome, some in Soweto, some in Zimbabwe, all over Africa. Tormenting my people, killing my people, enslaving my people, victimizing all of us. Tormenting my people, killing my people, enslaving my people, victimizing all of us. We be calling all the world to help us to fight. I said we be calling all the world to help us to
Good evening, folks. Samson radio, folks. I do that. I amaze myself a lot of time. I mean, I'm truly enjoying myself, to be honest with you. Good evening, folks. Samson to radio. Good evening. We say thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Safety first, folks. We say safety first. Oh my God. I said, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ, you're wonderful. Oh, things you do for us. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful day. Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. My tech is still in there. My Lord, thank you very much. Wife is on steady leave. She's going to finish some of her steady program. The Crown Women they left book business too much. Oh, but why bringing that one into God business? But the Crown Women, God said no. The Crown Women then they left book business too much. So she's going to finish her book business. And so I'm here with my case. I prepare myself. But I want to thank God for the life that He has given us. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you have given us. No complaint from this end. No complaint. Whatever happens to us is something that you want it to happen. We want to thank you. Lord, as we sit here again this evening, this Friday evening, we ask you to guide all of us. There'll be some that will be going to work late. We put them in your hands. There'll be some that are going to be going to places. We put them in your hands. There'll be some of us will be home. We put all of us in your hands, because through you that everything is possible. And my Lord, we ask you to bless us, to protect us with a blanket of love. My Lord, only you have the ability to say who stay and who doesn't stay. Only you. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you because that power is not distributed unevenly. Whether you're rich or you're poor, when you say you come, that person going. There is no way around. And that power, only you deserve to have that. And we praise you for that, my Lord. We praise you for that. We ask you to continue to bless us and give us long life as well. My Lord, there are things that are happening all over the world. There are things that are happening right here in our own places, but yet still you're able to protect us. We say thank you. Thank you. We don't have much to pay, but we will continue to praise you when we have the opportunity to do so. Only those that will follow you will follow you. We ask the brothers and sisters that don't know you, that perhaps will want to take the opportunity to find out who you are, because you're the most wonderful person to know. Oh my God. If only people know who you are. Oh my God. Things you do for us. Oh my God. This Friday afternoon, I just feel like she's standing up and yelling and screaming at the top of my lungs to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my Lord. We want to thank you. Lord Jesus, we're here again this evening to have a conversation with our brothers and sisters, and we ask you to guide our thoughts, to guide our tongue. As the word comes out of our mouth, must be something of a decent proposal coming out of us this evening. Give us wisdom. Give us wisdom to make sure we talk something of a decency. My Lord, I ask you to bless the country of the Republic of Liberia. Bless the leaders of the Republic of Liberia to do what is good for our people. My Lord, bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's get it going. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have some Ducey one here this evening. Things are now quite, the holiday is coming up. And so the holiday spirit, other people are turning to politics and what have you. But what is happening back home right now with the absence of the father of the nation is something that is very concerning, very, very concerning. And what people, this government supporters that we are, what they perhaps don't realize, it's not like when the president is in town, everything is going to be fixed. But just like in your own home, when you're married, you have kids, and you leave to go on vacation, or you leave to go somewhere outside of the home, that also affect the daily activities of the house. Because the duty that is assigned in the house for each of you, you the parent, you the kids, when one person is absent, the whole process is now have to be retweeted. Other than that, it's not going to go well. And from that perspective, we're saying here again tonight that the absence of the president from the country of the Republic of Liberia, with all of the challenges that are going on, his presence is needed. Not only when he's there, things going to be fixed. That's not the point. But people will have that courage to say, yes, I'm hungry. Yes, I have no food. Yes, things are difficult. But the president is here with us. People might not even think about whether he have food or what have you. But his presence alone gives people the spirit of doing well. But when the president is not there, why we can be hungry? The president not here. Now what we hungry for? The president not here. The president gone. That means things are so bad that he don't even want to stay. It doesn't bode well for our people. And those of you that are turning into politics, I think you're not doing us a service either. Because this is not about politics. I'll go into politics later. I'll tie this whole thing around into politics myself. But for now, I'm saying that as the father of the nation, for you to stay away that long, it's too long. It's too long, Mr. President. It's too long. It's too long. People might say, okay, well, if the president is there today, people will not be hungry. Well, people will still be hungry. But as I stated earlier, if the president is there, people will say, yes, this man is staying with us with all of these challenges. He's here. But you can't tell me this long you're going to hustle on behalf of Liberia this long. I hope when you're coming back, plane load of money must be coming. Plane load of goods must be coming. Which is not the case. Who's feeding you, Mr. President? All of the people that you have with you, who's feeding them? How are they eating? Where do they sleep? This is much, much more deeper than politics and the upcoming election. And the reason why I'm saying this with seriousness, I had a conversation today with my son. I'm supposed to be sending him to Town, by the way. So I sent all of the logistics and what have you. He has the transportation, he has food, money for food on the road. He's going to leave some money for his family to eat while he's gone. All of that, I mean, the usual time. He don't complain. He will say, oh, that's good. We can take care of this. I got money for my gas in my motorbike. That's good enough. But this time, it was different. You know what he told me? He said, I'm leaving. I have everything. I'm going to leave good stuff here for my family, and I'm going to Town for whatever day that I have to stay. They will be fine. But what is it happening? Why is the president out of here? Is there something bad coming? And these are people that are in Monrovia. They're thinking back those days. Is the president leaving? The defense minister gone? Everybody, are they leaving here? They left because something bad is going to happen to us here in this country? Why would they not ask a question like that? I have to explain to him. And I don't even know. But I have to tell him, no, nothing happened. The president over there in Qatar watching his son play football. But what he can do here? He got TV here. He can watch TV here. Yeah, he can. But he wants to be there in person to support his son. But many people are not seeing it like that. They're just seeing it as though the president is gone because perhaps something bad might happen. The time you take away this president business, are not small thing, a big thing. I keep saying to many of you, if you're now up there, you don't see. But once you get up and open your eyes, you say, what? That 18 and 44, my people, I wish they would have a term every other week. One Liberian go there today, especially those Liberians that got big mouth like myself. Those people that come on platform and talk all kinds of gibberish, whatever. That Samuel would say, Tabata. And let them give them the presidency for 1 week. Let them see how things are. The operation of a government, the functionalities of each of the agency, how they're all connected. And if one fail, the other person going to have serious problem. Let them stay up there and see the difficulties. So the whole thing is not something that you can sneeze at. These people that are seeking these offices, we have to question them. We cannot have another Dr. Weir. Because this is not about football. This is not. This is whatever you. Right now, God forbid, and he's not like that. But if I get into it, you think if the president say, "I don't want to see Samson do it again," they'll kill me. Who's going to stop them? It has happened before. Where the president make a statement, "I don't want to see this person," and the person is gone from the face of the earth. We know these things. The power that is enshrined within that office is enormous. And so that power comes with responsibility. You've gone this long, Mr. President. You're the father of the nation. How do people in West Point, what they do day in, day out? How are you involved? And then when people go talk, some of the inept people, some of them, they are so much, their behavior in the support of this president and this government. You know, when this whole thing fitting, when the president is defeated, I like to see how these, and the sad thing, most of these supporters, they're young. They're young. But I like to see what will happen to them. I like to see what will happen to them. We all support people we love and people we believe in. Like for me, I admire Ambassador Bakai. But I will not support Ambassador Bakai when I know something is happening that is wrong. I'm not going to do that. Because I passed that stage. Just so that I don't do these kinds of things, I was able to train myself so that I don't depend on them. I'll give you an example. And I know Mr. Soul, if he's listening, he's going to be upset with me. It's not like LPR is rich. We struggle every time to meet up our bills here in Liberia. We struggle. But we don't come to people immediately because we're struggling. So, we have a cash out, you put money here and there because we want to do this. We want to make sure. Mr. So always said that if we're going to come to these people who are just a viewer, somebody who love what we do, if we're going to come to them for support, we must come to them with legitimate reason. And that's why we're always struggling. But we carry on ourselves. We carry on ourselves. We have some equipment here. Let me show you this. See this here? You see the equipment? A small thing here. Costs almost $2,000. Yeah, I'm not asking anybody to pay me by, but I like to do it. Mr. So has the same thing. The amount of equipment we supply to Liberia. It's not that we're not able to come to you guys, but we want to make sure by the time we come to you, we have a legitimate reason. But there are people that are coming to our brothers and sisters for pie in the sky. And because of the generosities of our brothers and sisters, people take advantage of these kinds of stuff. And so because that's the only way they will be able to justify their court attitude, support blindly. But this is not, that's not right. We need to get out of those things. We need to get out of it. And let me end this here, and then I'll go on back to the main show. Hopefully my colleagues will be joining me here. Mr. Joyce, check your email, check your text messages. Let me see if we can. I'll send that to Mr. Joyce, to every one of you guys. So check that again. So back to the president. The day is just too long. I will turn this into politics later. But for now, yeah, Mr. Joyce is there. No, it's not an old one. It's a new one. Look at the date, oh man. Okay. So if you still can't get it, let me know. Then I'll try and resend it. I will turn this whole president visit and taking too long. I will turn it into politics later. But for now, I'm speaking as a subject to this president because he's my president. That's one of the plebeians to the entire society. He's my president. Mr. President, you staying away this long, it's not good for our psyche. It's not good for our spirit. We saw you today clapping for your son, which is wonderful. Wonderful. But you cannot stay that long. You can't stay that long. So that's my rap this evening. Okay. Sissy want me to check my inbox here. So he's very good at sending. Sissy, you're gonna have to, all of you guys gonna have to. What? What do you mean the link is not working? Okay, maybe that's one of the problems. Okay. So it's okay. All right. The link is not working. My goodness. All right, y'all give me 1 minute, yeah. Let me make sure my guys. JJ ABD JJ ABDFA 3. Oh, okay. All right, folks. Okay. Hey, I'm from Total now. What wrong with your side? Yeah, big here. You think you're coming to come get something over me? Big here. Yeah, it's not working. I understand. What? Where I get the number from? FA3. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, what kind of Ghibli's number I put down, sent to the people here, and don't want to what? Well, y'all go sue me. They come here and they will come and argue about, y'all go sue me. Saying you're running. So let me see again. Let me make sure it's correct. But what y'all want say? What y'all want from me? That Total man. JJABDFA 3R. All right. Okay, Sissy, I just sent it. Check it out. Yeah, we go. Okay, Mr. Joyce got it. Okay. Let me see. But why did I send the wrong one to Sissy then? What's the reason? Yeah, I sent the correct one to George. So what happened to Sissy? Let me check Jonathan on. Oh, I sent wrong one to Jonathan as well. Yeah. My eye can see, but I will not retire. Well, do to me. I'm big here. My eye. You say you want to hang with old man? The old man you will suck your goo. Oh, I also sent it to I sent the wrong one to Mr. So. Okay, I hope. Let me check my bill. You just wait for me, Mr. George. Please let me check this thing. Let me go to Mr. Dr. Toto here. Make sure that I send him the right thing. Oh my goodness! Y'all give me a break here. Give me a few minutes here. But wait, my man. The thing I can't eat shit. Well, oh, I sent the wrong one to the doctor. I said, the old man really enjoyed himself. I tell you. Okay, let me bring in Mr. George. On this wonderful Friday afternoon. Mr. George, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, for some reason I sent the wrong thing to all of the analysts.
No, but you sent the wrong one to me also.
You want about anything? Big yeah.
No, but you sent it to everybody. You sent it to everybody. The link you sent me, how can I tell you? I said, send me the link again.
But your voice is low, Mr. Josh.
Hold on there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
I said you sent the wrong link to everybody. Because I said I was send a text to you. I said send me the link because the link sent to me first. I went and tell me 404.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, that what they get. They want to work with the old man, and the old man will not retire.
Well,
and so
that's some of the glitches.
Which one is the glitches? The link is glitch, or the old man he says a glitch in on the whole LPR.
Everything what the link
is killing me that some of the glitches. So I am one of the glitches in the LPR system. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Judge. Thanks for joining us. I hope the three other gentlemen will be joining us here tonight. No, on a very serious note, and I know we'll play politics with this thing here later, but on a very serious note, this president taking time off like this here. What really you think is on this young man's mind treating us like this? Why do you think he does this thing?
I mean, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, including you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, past thank.
Mr.
Sister saying get it yo.
Well, resend it because I got mine.
Yeah, but no, sister, the one I sent you now is the correct one. Let me see. The one that Mr. George, the one you got is the one that I sent you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me copy that and send it to.
Yeah, copy it.
Go ahead, make a point, Mr. George.
You know, it's saddening for us to be at this time in the 21st century. The president living in the country for almost 2 months. And there's no justifiable reason. And sometimes when I talk, it just brings me to the point that I said, Joe, well, is not interested in the country or the people. Maybe he just wanted to have the title that our president for Liberia. That's the highest position in his life he can reach. And say, hey, my name will go down as president of Liberia, so maybe this is it. But because we heard this thing about Tottenham, that he used to travel with ship. But for all that to be living and seeing it, our generation, it's just mind-boggling that the person will leave the country, just go. Like, hey, I don't care anything, I'll go back, that's it. But again, I would twist it around. I know you saw the Senate yesterday and today, the debate. This issue was brought up. The letter was read. And some other senator tried to ask, to go into the issue. The Senate said the chairman of the executive, which happened to be Sir Joseph, another staunch edition, said that that letter should be forwarded to the committee on executive. So it cannot be discussed on the floor right now. It has to go to committee. Committee will look at them before anything come back to the plenary and submit what report to come up with. And you know, Sir Joseph is the chairman of executive. He's a strong supporter of George. Yeah. So I mean, nothing come out and nobody can have any debate. And this is why I all go back to the point that the people who in the collaboration with the government, with CDC, sold the country, because the CDC, these guys were thinking ahead to hold the government. So they took the position, Speaker, President Pro Tem, Deputy Speaker, committees, the powerful committees that's supposed to demand the position of man that Sergeant is chairman and executive. In a house,
Mr. George, can you hold your thought right there? Let me welcome Sissy, who just joined us here. Sissy, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
I vote for us to have Mr. So in charge of sending the link going forward. All in favor say aye. Mr. George,
no, I sustain. I ain't voting for that one there. Every devil guy who's not friend today, I would Mr. Tool. That was part of the glitches. So
I don't know when you say glitches. I'm not too sure what I am the glitches on the LPR process here, or the link that I sent was a glitch. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on.
So you see what the guy did. They put their people in strategic position in Parliament. Sir Joseph, the chairman of the executive. So every matter that comes concerning the executive, it goes to Sir Joseph, take control of it. So it levels Sir Joseph. That letter will not come back to the floor. Okay? Because he's supposed to go to the committee and say, okay, let's discuss it, but he will not do it. If he goes to the committee, he will say, oh, got some other urgent matter than that. The representative, who is chairman of the executive, I can't agree. So you see, and that's why I blame the people who went to collaborate with George Weah. They sat down there because of money. They did not take any other position. Only the vice president, and I was all the way. Now you see what's happening. The matter was brought on the floor. Sergeant said, okay, look, the letter got to send to the chairman on executive, and he's a chairman. So that whole discussion is finished. Nobody can discuss anything on the floor again about George Weah letter. Nobody can take any decision. So these are the things when people are doing in the country, they don't think of the people, they only think of themselves. Now, what we find ourselves. So the whole issue of George Weah, 48 days, you can't do nothing with it again. Samuel will just look for extra money and send it there. And that's it. When you come back on the 18th, that's all.
Okay. So before you came in, I started with this president traveling this long out of the country, and how for me, without turning it into politics, but at this time we can link it with political activities now, whatever we have to do. But my point was, he's leaving this law as a father of the nation. It has some sort of a negative effect on the psyche of our brothers and sisters back home. And I give an example with my son, who is supposed to be going to Totem, but then started, you have all of the logistics you can think about. The money is there, saying everything, but then he started thinking about, his concern was as to whether something was going to happen to them in the country. The president is gone this long, the defense minister is gone. So his thinking was, why are they leaving? Is there something bad about to happen? And I won't blame him for asking that kind of question. So I want your contribution on this here anyway. You can take it whichever way you want to take it. That's fine.
So happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
To you all.
Welcome.
I think it's the turkey juice that's still bothering the liver. So it's not a glitch. You know how when you eat too much turkey, you get sleepy.
But that one is also said yesterday about him. So she said around.
For other serious note, I think this whole thing about the president's travel, like Exodus 16. In Exodus 16, it talks about the whole Israelite community set out of Elam, and they came to the desert of sin, which and they stay wandering in the desert. And Moses and Aaron was trying to get the children to the promised land. Our pastor, the priest, His Highness, Right Reverend Bekube, has taken his entire Israelites with him. The Eugene Nangbe, the defense minister, they are the lost children. They are in the desert, and they are literally in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. So we don't know whether they will find their way back, or they will need a Moses to go and have a rod that will part the ocean to bring them back. We don't know, but I do believe that the pastor is living out his biblical calling, that he took the children of Israel, his children of Israel, his corrupt children of Israel with him to the desert, and they are there for 40 days and 40 nights. So we just got to hope that when they come back from the mountain, they will come with a new 10 commandment. They will come back with a renewed PAPD that will help the Liberian people. And this time around, Aaron will be burning. He will not be allowing people to give them jewelry to burn to create a new idol. The president needs to come back. I don't know if it's going to be Moses or it's going to be Aaron in this case. But Alibaba and the 40 thieves are stealing all of our resources in Liberia. So either the priest got to get back from his 40-day, 40-night stuff and save the nation from Alibaba, or Alibaba and the 40 thieves will continue to rip the nation while the Right Reverend, the Bishop, Bekube, the Imam, is on his pilgrimage. That's my speech.
Well, that's true. I also feel like that. Of course, I'm not going to link it biblically like the way you just did beautifully. Intertwine all of that with the Bible, which is pretty much, I think, that kinds of language is clearly understood by many of our people back home, because that's what they live by. That's how they sleep by. Liberia is almost like almost like Ghana now. By 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, everybody in the prayer house, prayer line, and everything else. So I think that kinds of language is clearly understood by our folks. But let me just say this here also. I still think people who are defending the president, to say what good would it do if the president is in Liberia, people are still going to go hungry because there's no food. For me, I keep saying that, yes, while it is true that the president does not have the magic wand to wave and solve all of the issue, but his presence alone in that country is important. And why they might not realize that, they probably don't even see it as being the father figure of the nation, which it is. To be the president of the Republic of Liberia, either mother figure of the nation or the father figure of the nation, if you're a man. But because they don't have that clear understanding, the linkage between that and parenting. And so even if you look at, and perhaps I might be going a little bit gutted now, but that's okay. We're here to discuss. These are my beliefs. These are my view. If you look at there's a video that is trending around the social media where the first lady was giving an explanation about the upbringing of Tin Weir. And in there was not many mention of the president being involved.
Don't go there. Don't go there. I'm just going to go ahead.
Seriously, there was not many, there was not a mention on many times about in terms of his soccer program. It was the mom who said, I took him this place, I took him that place, and people accepted us. And, so if you look at from that perspective, I would say then it is easy if the president was not involved in the upbringing of this wonderful son of his, if it's not being talked about as the video, because the video is more than 5 minutes long. And if the first lady, who is now enjoying the privilege of being the first lady based on the marriage process to Dr. Weah, if she cannot remember to bring out the husband who is the father to this man, as she goes on to explain how he got involved in the soccer, if she cannot remember to mention that, then it's easy for me now to surmise that most likely he was not much involved. And so let me link it back to us as Liberian, being the children for this follow the figure now of the nation who is the president. And so in his own personal life, if he's that far removed, then I can see how easy it will be for him to leave Liberia without thinking in terms of, or without linking his leadership to that of the parental process of trying to be the father of the nation. So if he can do that in his own personal life, then it's easy for him to just leave Liberia and go on to do whatever he wants to do and come back whenever he wants. But for us, those of us that believe in making sure you stay, whatever you do. And sometimes some of us are guilty of being overly protective. Because my son, he's in Marine right now, and one of the problems he had was swimming. Because there's a lady here that had her kid drowned at one time, same age as my son, and I refused for him to go around swimming pool. And because of that, when he got into Marine, he had to be swimming, but he couldn't swim because he didn't know. He had to practice now. His mom used to take him to the gym to go learn how to swim. You got to pay some money for them to teach him. But the point here is, overall what I'm saying is, if he doesn't have that kind of connection, parental connection, then it's easy to have this, not having that kind of feeling for the people of Liberia, just leaving like that. So that's how I'm going to leave it as that. And if Mr. George, if you have a comment on that.
You know what? You took it from out of my throat. I was sitting there just 30 minutes ago thinking about this guy. And that's how I would throw the thing outside. But I said, then someone would say, hey, I want to go in the main person, I want to go gutter. But you know what? We got to discuss it. And the comparison you made, that's the same comparison I was making. We are all your parents. Every time we travel, so our heart is behind because we have left our children. We want to come back. Because, that's for example, and many people overlook these things. Your mother and father in the house. When your father is not in the house 1 week, you will see the difference. Mm-hmm. When your father leaves that house, there's a difference in that house. When your father is present, there's a difference. But many people don't look at these things, especially we Liberians. We take the thing for granted. That, oh, I provide food. I send money to my daughter, so my son. So what more can you want? No. Your presence is important because there are attributes.
Mr. George, hold on to your thought. Let me welcome Dr. Toto, and also to say, hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, Doc. Welcome. Go ahead, Mr. George.
Because there are attributes you have that you want your children, you want your son to take from you. And you're absent. It creates that vacuum. But today, person, we are saying now, my son is going, team we are. The man was sitting now in Morovia, not doing nothing. Could not come to spend 3-4 months with his son. So what is the feeling if that man can treat his son like that, then what about a country? And he got no relationship, personal to say blood related to the country. No, it's just a country you're ruling. And if you can do that, then what you think about the people who you're not even related to any of them, I would say. So these are the things sometimes someone on look up and will talk. They say we want to go into personal life, and it's not being personal. It's out there now. So when it's out there, we got to link your action, your attitude. We'll try to link it to say, oh, this is why this man is doing like this. Because look at his lifestyle. So this is why I said, so why people are praising this man, his son, they will say you're not there. Talking to the coach, she praised the coach. In that video, she praised the coach. And she should go from place to place. And what was the father the figure? The same thing in Liberia. The people took the whole country and said, oh man, we're all that are happening. Let the country, yeah. Take care of us. He said, you know what I will do? I will exploit you people. I will financially abuse you people and kick people around just as I used to kick the football in AC Milan. That's what I will do to you people. So that is the reward this man is giving to the country. This president, that the people, they only are going to kiss his feet. And you got a video, they only kissing your feet. That's the reward.
So the two old men are here for fire today.
This is the man he gave to. This is the giving back to the country.
Let me take a different, a little bit of a skew side on that.
Okay, sir.
No, I think you're right though, Mr. Josh. I am not differing with you. I'm just looking at it from a different side. You know, just like I look at the whole 40 days, 40 nights, as you know, the man's a pastor, you got to go on a pilgrimage from a different side. Except he's not in Israel, but you know, desert is a desert. Having said that though, I think here's the first thought I'm going to lay out, because I don't want to. First of all, I am happy for the Weah family. If I were George Weah, I want to put it out there. If I were George Weah, I would be ecstatic. I get upset at my daughter when she tells me, "Dad, I don't like math." Like I get upset, like viscerally upset, that she doesn't see the beauty in the thing that I see beauty in. So I know how proud a papa he must be to see his child seeing the beauty in the thing that he excelled in and accepting that. I'm sure all of us here will love that one child that sticks to us and likes the thing we like, our hobby. You know, the liberal you fixing the car, you like that one child. I always with you trying to find, oh, daddy, you know, what's the spanner? What's the number this? What's the that? You know, for me, I would like that. So, you know, I just want to put it out there as the father in me that I am constructively jealous of George Weah right now. That I would be as happy. I don't know if somebody will keep me down on earth for what he's experiencing. I haven't said that. I think the executive mansion did wrong. Sekou Kalasco, for one, did wrong. The video you're talking about, there is a video also that Tim Weah is being interviewing. And he talks about the hard times that him and his mom went through, the difficulties that his single mother went through. And he said he didn't know that his father was famous and rich until much later.
Yeah.
And Sekou Kalasco didn't share that video.
But that's a mentality.
What is the strategy behind that? How do you? Okay, I get it. The kid has said what he has to say, and this is America. We know how our children are. They're very easy to say you weren't president, you were president. They judge you by American standard. But for the special assistant to the president to share that video over and over, and there was a deputy minister in Liberia who's a good friend, I also shared that video. I went in by like, yo, man, did you really listen to what this kid was saying? So, you know, having said that, I think let's go back and let's judge the president's handling, his presence as a father within the Liberian context. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but a lot of us and a lot of people in Liberia know our parents, our dads were just responsible for bringing money home.
Yeah.
And our mothers were the one we saw every day, all day. And sometimes the only thing you see daddy that on Sunday. And then daddy wear his slipper, go to a friend and play. He can play checker, he play checker the whole day. He can play the whole day.
The buy beer.
Right? But that is the norm. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying that is the norm in Liberia. And so I'm coming back to you, though, Mr. To, when you talk about the Liberian people not taking this seriously. It's because they're looking at it within their cultural norm, that it is acceptable for daddy to be out of the house all day. Daddy got a job that goes from 8 to 4, but daddy comes home at 10 in the night and you're going to get up, go warm his rice and bring it outside to him and go get a hot water carry in the bathroom and for him to go take bath. That is acceptable, right? In Liberia, we have to change that. But I'm just saying so that we understand the mindset of our people when they say that's not a big deal. Is they're looking at it.
Sometimes when my ask daddy, where you coming home this time?
If I may, gotta call your parents and say your daughter, asking me what time come home, your parent can't advise you. That he's supposed to ask them what time he's supposed to come home. So we have to be very careful and judge these things within the context, because you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of our people don't know what they don't know. And I think it is upon us. It is upon us that have managed to leave Liberia and live in the diaspora and seeing other cultures to try to educate those people and say, yeah, that might be what it is, though, but it's not a good thing, right? And so for me, that is how I'm looking at this. Now, on the issue of the president absconding his responsibility and outsourcing that to Alibaba. That's something to a new if you don't know. And if you listen to how to call it, man, to Eugene Fago and call it man Papwe. So I call it the Papwe or Alibaba. We cannot, the president. Here's the thing, for people who tell me the president does not have to be in the country, I say, then why do we vote for president? Why? If the president is not needed, why do we vote for the president? Because if the president is in the country, he sets his standard. The issue with legis would not be this out of hand completely. I want to believe if the president were in the country, right? The issue now, I've seen Joao dancing Bugatti. They have to share her Bugatti video. You saw that, Mr. George?
Oh, I saw.
Oh yeah, sister dancing Bugatti. They shared it.
The other day she couldn't stand. I don't answer questions.
She was dancing Bugatti. She was doing go low. She was doing the go low. But here's what happened. Like Bob Marley said, when the cat is away, the mice will play. George, the president of the republic needs to go back home. I joke when I said 40 days and 40 nights, but for once, I support America in most things they do, but for once I'm rooting for America to lose so that they can end in the first stage so Joe can go back to Liberia and run our country.
Says it.
So let me do this here. I know I spoke earlier, but I would take of course, that's me in the liberal. I speak both sides of my mouth anyway, so I'm not ashamed of that. But let me look at it. The only difficult thing with statement that I'm about ready to make, and the only difficult thing of trying to reconcile that and trying to see any logic in it when it comes to the president, it's a little bit difficult, but I will do my best. Like I said, I wish Dr. Toto was here. I've been around for a while, and when I came in this country at a very young age, first thing I was doing was just going with these soccer giants, playing ball with them here and there, forget about school. And then when I started the school business, getting a little bit serious, I started hanging with the political guru, EULA guru, and stuff like that. But what I noticed also at that time, specifically people who were involved heavily in the PAD and EULA movement, they were not able to handle that process along with their responsibility as parents at home. And most of them I'm not going to call name, but what I do know, because one of the cases that I'm talking about, happened right in my own hand, where because of Liberia issue, EULA, PAD, and everything else, an individual was not able to get involved in your kid's life. And the kid went astray at one time. The mother was able to work hard to be able to bring the kid back, but it was a little bit late. The kid was not able to. The mother's a PhD, the father's a PhD, but the kid didn't even finish high school. Very smart young man. I know him very well. But the point that I'm making on this is that when these people were involved into making sure that they fight two-way party for people to have one man, one vote, it requires so much time from them. In those days, you did not have what we have now, like you can talk to each other on Zoom, and in fact, you didn't have anything but not even pager at the time, just telephone call. And so many of the conferences, people have to drive. And sometimes we used to drive from where I was to Chicago or New York or Philadelphia, most of the thing, or Boston or even Atlanta. We used to drive those areas to go to the conferences. And most of the time, I never really saw the actual tangible result, except to have some sort of a dialogue and have a name recognition from some of the players. Just the like of Charles Tiller, the like of Tom Woyu, the likes of other Marcus Matthews, and even the old man Samuel Jackson. Those people, when you go to meeting, these are people you're waiting to hear from them. And so they use those opportunities to put themselves out front. But there were some that were not able to blend in their family activity or their family life with that of EULA and PAD life. And some people were just difficult. It was just difficult for them to be able to get involved into their kids' daily activities. So I'm not saying that it's not far removed from Dr. Weir, who was then playing football, and at the same time trying to get involved. In fact, when he was at the height of his career, the war was happening. So perhaps that he was not involved into Timothy life whatsoever because of his involvement into Liberia and Liberians' activity. But then the question then is, what are the proof we have? Because when I'm talking about these people, they were going from conferences to conferences. But with him, he'll come to Liberia, play football, and go back to Europe on his way, go through the refugee camp and things like that. But that does not negate the fact that you have family. And especially if you're playing football, because there were other people that were playing. Abedi Pele, the guy from Ghana, he has his kids. I mean, there's some video or picture of him Andre walking side by side. He had are you walking side by side, and he has Andre on his shoulder, going to go practice. So that, I mean, the mom was with him while he was playing in Europe. So what happened? So it's a little bit dicey situation. I don't want to go into that, but I just thought that I'd give some sort of a different perspective that perhaps maybe Dr. Weir felt will be part of that issue, where getting involved in the family life and being involved in the Liberian activity perhaps were not successful. Let's move on to the next one here, and then I'll come to you guys for.
Mr. So let me tell you something. What you said there, that baloney, throw that thing out of the window.
Okay. Well, I mean,
why don't you
don't you like this man? He does seem, that's what we do here on Liberia Public Radio. I mean, that's my view. He said, throw it out. Okay. Why you say that? Why won't you accept that?
The man was based in Paris of Monaco. With the money you're making, why you need to tell her to leave that banking job and bring my family over to be there with me? Why he gonna do that? Okay, if he couldn't do that, they got the season when the season off. What are you supposed to do? You're not supposed to take that time to go with your family, to go to your family and spend the holiday with them, your vacation with them. But then now go to Africa to go party in the nightclub.
I don't know that for sure.
I
But
know
anyway.
that. I know that.
Okay.
Go Africa, go party in the nightclub.
Okay.
I know that. And if anybody say a lie, if you go to Ghana, ask for DJ Wu. DJ, he used to take child DJ Wu and carry him to Monrovia to go play in the club there. DJ Wu, out in Accra. That's someone who know him good. Who hang out with them said they don't know DJ Wu from Accra. That he used to take. So that was throw that thing out of the window because that poor excuse is making for all these people. We all got some activity that we engage in. But that doesn't give you the reason to say I will stay, I will not take care of my children. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing you have. Your family. You can do all that running around. The only thing you have is your family. And so if you have children, you have to make time. So you're saying that Berkeley London, Obama, they could just lead the children and say, our president, so you just go ahead.
No. I don't think I'm saying that much. Go ahead, Sissy.
Yeah.
I think though, Mr. To and Mr. George, the both of you are right, but within reason, within different packets. I think Mr. George is talking about what ought to be, what Western culture, what we've experienced here, because the comparison with Obama and everybody else has been busy. It's a fact, it's here. But I think Mr. Tu is trying to be fair to understand that in Liberian culture, even in our own traditional culture, in the poorer society, in the Sunday Bush, and the people that went to the poor in the Sunday Bush, unless you are a male son and you are about age, you don't follow your partner nowhere. That man get us the money and go check the 100 traps that he set. At least that's how my grandfather do. Check those 100 traps. Go to the pound one, tap the pound one, ends up, we go start, brushing fun.
So they will say, you can't wear your man. You must fire your man.
There you go. You can't wear your man.
Yeah.
So and Josh Weah is a product of his environment. I really don't want to judge his parenting skill, but I think he's a product of his environment. It's a Liberian culture. Look, Mr. George, right here in America, there are Liberians. As a teacher, I remember the other day I was giving you preps for going to your grandchildren's stuff. As a teacher, I will call my own Liberian parents, say, you come to parent-teacher conference, you can hear about your children. Oh, my friend, if I were busy, we can do that thing, bro. I'm going to do I'm going to pick up my double. Right? There are parents who would not go. I coach soccer here for the high school. I took my high school team to state. I had over 10 kids for the first time I made it, all state Minnesota. Soccer team, first team, all state. All of those 10 kids, 7 of them were Liberian kids.
Wow.
And I got 2 of those Liberian kids playing semi-professional right now that I coach. But when we go to play, the only people you hear in the crowd will be the 3 white children. When I ain't playing for me, that are on the sub bench, that their parents will be there. They want to go on the sub, that their parents will be there yelling whole day while their parents they trying to say that. But the players who I got are scoring goals and stuff. That scouts, high school scouts. I had one of my kids that got scouted. We had a scout come all the way from Spain. One beginner called Emmanuel. One bouncer beginning. A scout came from Spain just to scout him. But you could not get those children and parents to come and watch their game if their life depended on it. So my thing I'm saying here is, yes, I get it. In the Western culture, we expect parents to do this. But let's also understand that George Weah is a product of his environment. He comes from Liberia, where it is not customary in Liberia for fathers to be there. And to Mr. To's point, I do understand how difficult it is to run Liberian political organizations and still remain active in your family. Up to this day, I still get people that will get mad at me when they call me and say, Mr. Goya, we need you to come speak here. And then I say, yeah, no, my wife says she must have, and the lady will go to the mall. And be like, man, we call you to come speak, and you say your family business so important. Then get out of the I say, yeah, but then you'll phone me up. But I would not take y'all over my family. If I got time to spend with my wife and my children, I'm doing it. If you're playing your time, you fall on the time with the website, I got to do something, sucks to be y'all. But how many people are able to do that? Because to Mr. To's point, there's a lot of people who will put community first, who will put their entire thing into the community. Mr. Toto here, I've seen him at almost every convention that Yula had. That means he has to leave his family to travel. And if you don't set it out right, if you don't set it out correctly, you run a problem at home. So I do see where the both of you are right, but I just want us to judge it in the context. George Weah is a product of his environment. A lot of us still in this country, we're still living that same lifestyle that George Weah lived. So for me, I'm just saying that his abandoning of the Republic of Liberia is just is wrong. But as far as his parenting skills go, I don't have enough skills. I don't even want to venture into judging him on that.
Dr. Toto, are you ready for us?
I'm absolutely ready.
Okay.
Kudos hear you guys.
Okay, it looked like the Russian must have invaded your camera.
And then my message had to come to my rescue.
Right. Okay. But I know, although you've been having issue, but you've been listening to us, right?
Oh yeah, I've been following it.
All right, go ahead. What would be your contribution before we move on to the next subject matter?
Let me just put in the context when it comes to George, we are a family. So let me just relate to me. And others where George we are is coming from. As a father, as a family man, and also he found himself as a president. And he had to go there to support his son, and to show that support. And the other hand, he's the president for our country, and people expect him to be there also to play that presidential role. So you see, he caught in the middle of two things. But I've been following some posts on social media. I think people have been very using a lot of words, that he irresponsible, things that he's not there for your family, things that, So I don't think those things are necessary. Me, I can get my own experience when I was in the hurricane of Yula. I said it has serious problem. My wife, we have to go through some family discussion. It wasn't easy, because I traveled around from chapter to chapter, from state to state. They were going to Liberia to advocate against dual citizenship and other stuff. So it was taking time from me and my family. And I could
also spending the family money.
Yeah, the family resources. Just an organization. So talking that if I come to become president for a nation also too. So somebody think that which we expected. But the other problem that I have with the whole scenario is George, we are taking the number of days to be away from home. I think maybe the first March, see the opening game and then go back away to take the days. That's the problem. But I think he welcome to celebrate his son, whether he was there or not. I don't think we should go too much into it. Like there's another ANC gentleman called Conor Gray. I know him very well. Conor Gray put us in there about George Weah. He was caught on the area when the war coming. Why he left President Do? Why he rather we let President Do? He was caught on the area. Yeah. Can we trace that on here?
Jonathan Dorake, can you please come on?
Conor Gray great. You were air. You were in the airfield.
Yeah. You know why?
I'm not. No, George. I just try to give the points and things. So if we make it or brace it or make it no type of strong contention about somebody, we should look at ourselves also too. I kind of disagree with his statement referring to George as an irresponsible father.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I think we're going to move on to the next.
They all make to talk something. They all make to say something.
Dr. Toto, let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the army. If your commander is doing something wrong and you sit down there, you will become liable also. So leaving the country as an AFA personnel, you can't charge for anything because what the army did was not professional.
Yes, so make me charge for a war.
Okay,
that's a duty to serve. That's a duty to serve.
Hold on, Mr. John.
They've been abandoned the AFL.
Hold on, Doc.
In the midst of the war.
Hold on. Let us not relitigate the war here. Let's move on. Let me ask this question to any of you can pick it up. Any of you can pick it up. And the question is, since I mentioned earlier, there's a video that is moving around with the vice president doing buka dancing. I know, I don't know specifically why prompted her to do that, but about a year or so ago, she had an interview, almost hour and a half interview with Front Page Africa, where she brought in some real good point as a lady, as a vice president, and things that were not being done respectfully for her as a vice president. She was not being involved. In fact, she said one of the complaints she had was that the men would have meeting. They said they have a meeting 1 o'clock in the morning. She said, what kind of woman will leave her house in the morning, go to a meeting 1 o'clock? Where you going 1 o'clock? You know, stuff like that. So apparently, from that kinds of statement, from the entire interview, it's easy for one to assume that she was being left out. Now, recently, ever since McGill was dethroned by the sanction rock thrown around his neck and not yet thrown in the water, but he knew the rock is heavy, sanction rock is very heavy on him. And now Dr. Howard, Julia Howard now is somehow, first of all, in all of the pictures now, she's in the picture now, literally, with the president. And then now it seemed to me that she's been asked to represent the president on many occasions now. But the question that I have, and I'm wondering, do you think is it right for her now to do a buka dancing? Does it signify that she have the last laugh? And even if you have the last laugh, do you do buka dancing as the way to show your prestige now, or I'm reading too much into the buka dancing?
Let me say this: I am disappointed in my auntie, my sister, my mother, if she could be. I'm disappointed. The vice president is self-centered. All these people want to be close to the proximity of power or power in their hand. When she was silent by the time I get in others, she came up. One time I even called Dr. Toto. I said, look, how do you treat our auntie like our sister? But somebody told me, one other citizen, permanent citizen of Bon Country, said I would call to ask her if the people of Bon Country. She said, no, nobody will put a mop in her business. Her word to the person that nobody should put a mop in her business. So now, so all the things she said, it was made just for her to be close to power. The insult that she said, the ring on her. And Gassima are mad. Said, look, you can't treat this woman like this. That guy, Sheku Sharif, insult that woman on public platform. On the same platform, we discuss it. Hey, you can't treat this woman like this. And we all were vexed that people cannot be treating vice president like this, and the person was not saying a word. But yet today, because now she's in the picture, as you say, there's nothing wrong again. And this is what I tell people. This is an embarrassment for the people of Bon Country. She has sold the people of Bon Country. She in bed with CUC politically. There's nothing happening in that country. They siphon all the money. A junior college had not been completed over 16 years under their watch. She, Prince Moriu, Mary Cole, all of them siphon the money of Bon Country. But this is what she get. This is what she wanted, power. The other day, the woman had a press conference. And she said she could not stand up to take questions. She was going to sit down. But today, She was jumping all like hallelujah, Holy Ghost. Bubuka. Yes. But this is what happened. They say, the guy said, if you want to know people, give them power. You will see the true characteristic, the personality you will see. And this is why we're seeing from Dr. Joel Howard Taylor. This is why now we're seeing the real color. All she wanted was to have power. And once she got power, there's nothing she cared about.
So look, Mr. Toll, let me pick up from where Mr. Josh ended. Miracles do happen. The bishop is on a 40-day, 40 night.
What the name of the church? What the name of the church? Okay.
The bishop is on a 40-day, 40 night pilgrimage in the desert. So you never know. Maybe, you know, just like Abraham when he was faced with crisis, God gave him Aaron to have to speak for him. You know, we don't know. Maybe, you know, the president being in the wilderness is helping his VP. But on a serious note, by the way, in the chat, I have dropped 2 things in the chat. One of them is the Facebook page video with the vice president dancing, and one of them is the document for the PAPD, for the CDC PAPD. Look, the issue here for me is really there are 2 things happening. There's a personal thing going on, and then there is a leadership thing going on. In leadership, the vice president, I don't care whatever gripe she has with the president, when the president leaves the country, she ought to step up. Even if people have been abusing her and disrespecting her, it is her responsibility. It is her duty to step up in the absence of the president. So on the administrative piece, I get it. She needs to do what she's doing. She needs to step up. I do think, however, though, that that her briefings have not been right and appropriate and in time. Because if you listen to the press briefing she gave about, I think, Mr. George, you were talking about the census briefing. The briefing she gave over there, she was not really up to speed on everything. As a matter of fact, she even didn't know the budget of the census.
Yeah.
She was given about 23,000, and her special assistant had to correct her right on stage in camera to say that's 23 million, to say it's 27 million. And there were a lot of things where you could tell that she did not have the information and she was winging it, right? And so that is because she was not briefed adequately. So that is wrong. You don't put somebody up and then you don't brief them properly and adequately. So I don't think she got all of the information she needed to make the speeches that she needed to make. Now, having said that, though, I think the vice president, to your point, Mr. George, has been disrespected so much. There were so many times where you remember that iconic picture with Samuel Twer, McGill, and what's his name? What's the guy now that is Eugene Nangbe? Mm-hmm. And they all had a finger to their mouth like this, you know. Remember that? So I think now that the porcupine, the wild porcupine that was originally we thought was from Bapolu, but apparently from the Kotaro in Kakata. I don't know what kind of porcupine crossing Kotaro.
But 14 row.
Since the white people grabbed that porcupine and put it in the zoo and domesticated it, and now he's looking at time frame, entering the University of Liberia in 2005 BC and graduating in 2001 AD. Ever since that happened, I think the VP now sees a clearance and sees that, well, I can step in because it's a vacuum, and now I can, put my arm up and create some space. So I think there's a power juggling going on within the CDC. And this is where now my problem is that this is where the opposition political parties need to start stating clearly how dysfunctional this is and how they will be different from this dysfunction. That yes, if my child plays in the World Cup, I will go to see my child play, but I will not take 50 plus people with me, and I would not go for 40 days and 40 nights. Right? That is where people have to start looking. Yes, it is a fact. To just go and criticize Joe and say, oh, the man go see something, and maybe so him like, bro, I don't think it makes sense to Liberian people. You got to put it within context.
Yeah.
Yes, I will go to see my son play, like that Toto said. But would I stay 40 days? No. Even if within the best of time within my country, I would not stay 40 days. Given the economic strains that accompany inflation, given the stress of the four starts with the process of legis, I would not be going that long if my country were in need. I think this is where opposition political parties have started setting themselves apart. And to date, I do see two candidates that are doing that really, really well. I do see Alexander Benedict Cummings. He's doing everything. I do see Tewon Gonglu. Tewon went to over 106 villages and towns in Nimba County, and over 70 villages in Bon County, and he's here. So those speeches are going on. By the way, I share with you all a billboard, and this is where
yeah.
when you like Dr. Toto, when you are learning, when you're in academia, you do what we call literary review. You look at what other people have done. Yes. And look at that, and you try to incorporate. You don't go do the research before even doing it. So it is other Benedict Cummings, and like the last time I was chastising my brother here when they talk about the issue of a lifestyle audit with Cummings, and I said, well, I give credit to Tewon Gonglu, he brought out, and the brother said, yeah, that's a fact. So we got to give credit to Benedict Cummings. The man has billboard out in Douala Market, a billboard that is urging the Liberian people to go and get registered to vote. That is voter education, which is a part of the responsibility of every political party. So for him doing that, I want to give kudos to him and whoever advising in the ANC. I think the message has to be sent through with everything, not just about registering to vote, but also about why this issue with the president going and spending 40 days and 40 nights out of the country is dysfunctional. Because I've seen some seditions talk about, oh, the president of Ghana also is out of the country, and people are like, well, yeah, but we need serious people to talk about that, because there are people who are taking this, oh, but any Ghanaian president left you. But if we don't talk to them and try to educate them, and we just dismiss them, then it's an issue. The Ghanaian president is there. Yes, number one, a country is there. Number two, he's having actual business meetings while he's there. So those are differences. So I just want to put that out there.
Let me get chip on the issue of the vice president.
Right.
This vice president, we all know the vice president is a lame dog vice president. She had not been really forceful before, she found herself in a situation, in fact, she had been silenced so many times by the CDC guru, the Bangi, and all of Sandra Tour, and they silence her. So I think the vice president tried to use this as an opportunity, to try to expose some of her way out, so people can see who she is, and she dares it. And I know the vice president very well. This vice president, I would say, she's so bad, I don't easily forgive.
Well, I
don't talk about this vice president, especially because of our politics. If we don't get along, they know me very well. In fact, I know some of them that work in the office of the vice president that were after me. And we know that. So the vice president using this to leverage her win. And that people who are suppressing her, they're no longer around. Yes, that she ready to dance to show to them that she's the vice president. And we all know there are before the incident occurred, we know a lot of rumors been speculating around that whether even CDC wanted to carry her as a vice president, or the other guy from MP, the were frontliner to be the next candidate for the vice president. So all the rumors that have been going around onto the session where this MP, you gotta disorganize the whole CDC cycle that been going on, and that fear is centered around there. So the vice presidency that's been to celebrate. The only problem I get about her is that she, even though she had been laid dog, but she not taking the time to kind of learn, to step in that plate. Most especially that disgraceful press conference she had. You got done some good research even before you go out, to kind of speak to the people to address the press. But she just went there open headed, it was a very disgraceful. I can remember one of my academic professor. He said that he was playing the basketball. He didn't really do good research. I think he wanted to play a basketball and was around the court. And then our kid just asked him a simple academic question. Like he didn't do good research. And he just went open about why. You know, and then when he went home, he body language was not just please. You know, he had to go and look for that kid to explain to him why he made certain statement that he wasn't supposed to make. So all a type of prepare yourself when you go out. Most especially if you find yourself in academia or a professor or a vice president or president of a country. When you go out to speak, you speak, people listen to you. You know, so for her, she had to do some good work on that. She's a lawyer. She's according to her, she have a MBA, but being contested by other people, you know. But we say regard her, you know, to be in that elite. So let her prove to it.
And Mr.
All
Tola,
right. Okay. Let's move on. Thank you.
let me just ask you what Mr. Tola said.
Yeah, go ahead.
You see the reason that on the platform.
How many people will care our sister today? You give her back to her. You give her back to her. Let her come back home.
She don't want. We're not doing it. We're not doing anything that would like her, but she didn't like us. But let me say something about that woman. You see the reason I come here, I don't call the village the town I come from. There for a reason. Mervyn Cole, when I was supporting Mervyn Cole, she went to our people in the village. The people said, no, we're not supporting Mervyn Cole, we'll support that Topa. She told the people, say, the day you come to me for anything, you'll not get it. The people called me and told me. And that's the reason, see, every time when I sit there, when I talk to someone, I do not want to call my town name because it's very close to her.
But I know the town here. I can call it right now.
You don't know it?
You from Jowney?
Yeah, I'm the partnership for Boston District.
Exactly.
If I need Jowney, they want me, I can go to Zamitown or Checktown.
Okay, let me go on to the next one here, and this one is on Front Page Africa. Prince Johnson justified his pay-to-play moves with the government, say he had to pay debt incurred during elections. My goodness. I mean, if that since you think that's a good English, eh?
Oh, that's good English. That's good English.
But on a very serious note, you think this particular article here, first thing says it. Do you think is the who do you think is the target audience for this Prince Johnson article here? Who you think the target audience is?
You think about Prince Johnson leaving the coalition?
Yeah, no. Where he said that the article on Front Page Africa, PYJ justify his pay to play, which is one of those that was listed in the sanction pay to play moves with the government. Say he had to pay debt incurred during election. Who do you think the target audience is?
So since we like to usually take the American system and juxtapose it on Liberia, which is fair because a lot of things we do are copy for America. Let me say that President Donald Trump, after losing the election, had to do fundraisers to pay his campaign debt. Let me also say that when Hillary Clinton lost the nomination to Barack Obama, Barack Obama led a fundraising effort to pay off the debt, the campaign debt of Hillary Clinton. Let me also say clearly here that my two political campaigns I've run, one of them for the school board, I ended up owing about $300. I had to find a way to pay it after everything. By the way, my campaign was almost about $70,000 total. My city council campaign, I broke positive, so I ended up with almost $500 after spending over $50,000 on the campaign. So I didn't end up in negative. So I'm saying this to say that political campaigns do end up owing debt after campaigns. Now, however, though, in Liberia, the way political campaigns are funded and the way they account to the people, that is the problem. Because for me here, I had to say everybody that funded my campaign. My school board campaign, I ran over $70,000. I spent about $200 on my own money. That was it. And actually, it was a loan to my campaign. I loaned my own campaign $200. The entire $70,000+ came from people sending me money, organizations endorsing me and giving me money and all of that stuff. But then I had to account to the state for every penny that I received and how it was spent. And people who sent me money, I had to collect their name, where they work, and their information so that they can be able to claim on their taxes. And I had to send all of those documents in. And so, but Liberia, it is not that way. And so then that's where the corruption seeps in. Even in this country where we're allowing that, when I say we, some of us are still pushing for campaign finance reform, where you kind of take out dark money that the doctor has been talking about a lot, take out dark money from politics. And because I know for a fact that when I was running, there were several groups that came to me and asked and said they could endorse me, and for me to take their money, if I could take their sides. And I refused money. I refused over $60,000 for groups that wanted me to support, to be against LGBTQ plus people, for groups that wanted me to not fight for the reform in policing. And I said, if I will lose, I will lose, but I will not sell my conscience. And so those were the dark monies that were coming in. So I think Prince Johnson is speaking to something that happens in Liberian politics. In Liberia, when you're running, people don't fund your campaign, except for now that we see with the likes of Tiawan Gonglo, and to a larger extent, the like of the ANC that raised money here to support Kumis, even though Kumis is already a millionaire. I assume he could have supported his own campaign if he chose to. But I think the people are just trying to help him out. But if you have people in Liberia that depend on you, every time you go somewhere, you got to give back a rest. You got to give money to the chief. You got to give this. You got to give that. You got to give that. In Liberia, then, when you're doing that, it's become a business. That's an investment. And so when I win, now I have to see, where do I recoup that? And for most of these people, they don't have the money, so they go and borrow from these Lebanese and these Indians and these foreign nationals and get the money to run. And so after you win, you're not only paying by the physical cash, but you also owe political loyalty to those people who give you that money. So I think one of the pieces that Prince Johnson didn't talk about is who owns him politically. Because if I give you $20 for you to run and become president, you win to be president, you get my $20 back. And I get the $20 you owe me. You owe me for the fact that I funded your campaign. Versus when you have a people-centered campaign that is grassroots funded, you are not beholden to one person. You're beholden to the entire nation, because an entire nation of people voted for you. So I think Prince Johnson was speaking based on the reality in Liberian politics, and those are some of the things that need to change in Liberian politics. Because I remember funding my father-in-law's campaign in 2017 in Liberia. He ran for representative in Birmingham County. And I tell you, every village we'll go to, everybody had a hand out.
Yeah.
I bought jerseys for so many kids, so many teams, football jerseys, we'll go and give them out. Everybody wants something. And the poor old man who was just a teacher at the Birmingham Community College could not afford that. So you know where the money had to come from? It had to come from his son-in-law and the daughter. Even though he lost the election, it cost us a lot of money. So I think Prince Johnson is speaking to a bigger issue that needs reform, but I think there's a lot of corruption in that system that has to be talked about.
So, Mr. Josh, Mr. Doug will come to you. Let me go to Mr. Josh. Mr. Josh, what Prince Johnson is saying here, well, of course, since he addressed most of it here, but he is also saying that that they also connected with the sanction. The reason of his article, he's saying, is because the reason why he does that, when he campaigning for a political candidate, a winning candidate, he calls it, he spend money. And so in return, when that person wins, they want the money back so that he'll be able to pay the people he borrowed the money from, or give him a ministry, and then perhaps the minister, there might be an agreement that when a minister take a position, the minister will pay back, will give through his salary, give back to Prince Johnson to pay these people. So I think this particular article is going to the State Department, Treasury Department, who sanction him. But let me ask you this, Mr. George. With he clearly admitting here, and we all know this has always been the problem, how do we resolve it? Or is this something that perhaps we should just accept as being a part of Liberian politics and part of the political arena activities now?
No, absolutely not. And these are the hallmark of corruption in the country. These are the hallmark. And this is why I'm glad that Mr. Comey or Councilor Gonklo try to get Liberians involved, because when you put your money in something, then you got a say in it. But if the political leader go raise all the money by himself, how can you question that man? But if you take 1 cent from me, you know that I got a question you because you took 1 cent from me. You are not accountable to me. I don't care you put your 5,000 number 1 cent I put there, you got to answer to me. You owe me something. So that's why we are saying, we are talking to our brothers and sisters. Get involved in this organization. Pay a day for $1 or $5, make it. Because when you done that, you have a say in that organization. But if you don't do anything, how can you question the man? So this is why it's happening. It is wrong. We are still talking about getting our people involved, not just physical, but financially involved in the institution, so you can have a say in it. But if you just leave it, or the man look for money, you are someone at the end of the day. Because when that man went, he not listen to you. You didn't get him 1 cent. He said, "Look, that is I know I owe you. You have everyone can be no. How much money put in nothing? So why you asking me?" See, these are the kind of things. But what Prince Johnson is saying here, let's go to the heart of the matter. Let me try to make some connection. He said that George, we are lied to him. They didn't give people cabinet position for Nima. Because yes, the player, the money that he alleged that he spent, the position that would have been allotted to no cabinet position, he would have charged anybody from Nima County. I can give you the minister job, but you got to pay $20,000 because I spent money. I don't want advocate to get you the job. So that is the pay for play. Because George Weah or the city government had not given that opportunity to say, give me 10 person names that I will put into this position. Now, those 10 names, he will turn around and go and say, look, I got a deputy minister position. So give me 20,000. I got a assistant managing director position. Here's the list. Give me 10,000. So he go down and he collect that money and tell them, okay, you can, these are the people you get them the job. So you see, that is the pay for play. So those are the money that he will rely on to get. Not what kind of money? Say the campaign being over, why he are not talking about that money is now he talking about it. Since the campaign been over almost 5 years, we're going to another election. But these are the hallmark of a corruption. It's systematic corruption. Play in Liberia and continue to grow. This is why he's talking about it. He said that he was not going to another radio station, but George Weah said, no, Papi, don't go. I'll come so we can talk. So you see the corruption. This is it. And from a reliable source, I can tell you 100%. One of the things Prince Johnson is advocating for, I told George we have to do, is to get the teacher from his college to be put on government payroll. And George we have not done that. Okay. Reliable sources from in the White House. And Prince Johnson cannot deny it here.
George in the White House in Liberia?
Yes.
We got White House in Liberia?
Yeah. I'm White House. I'm not White House too. But he asked George Weah to put that the government should put those teachers that will be at that college on government payroll. And George Weah are dragging their feet. So you see, these are some of the things that he angry about and making this statement. And not like the State Department went and froze, Treasury Department froze his account. No, you are not paying him or nobody. But this is the language he used to exploit the people of Nima County and to exploit the political group that he supported in Liberia.
Okay, let me go to Doc. Same question. What would be your contribution on this? By the way, I know you probably read this article already.
Yeah,
is this something that you support as well?
On LIBERIA, when it comes to campaign financing in Liberia or other African countries, especially I live in other African countries, and I saw how election went on in the country, most especially in Nigeria. Especially on local election or local community election, what they call local government, or even senatorial or representative election, you can see how most of the cabinet position in the country, especially Nigeria, before you even be placed on to be tipped to be that maybe finance minister or something like director in the government. That's so that millions of dollar cash are changing. You got to know when they become minister, in Nigeria, we also know they keep bad together out of it. So I see this thing, I see a broad deal, especially in Nigeria, election. Then when it come to Liberia, these are things that have been happening in Liberia also. One of the presidential candidates, I don't know whether he's now presidential candidate, but he been one of the aspirant, or Nathaniel Barnes. Nathaniel Barnes, I met him some time ago, we discussed, because I know some time ago when he contested, he had a political party register. And he abandoned that party, and he joined the coalition. At that time, we took our back into them with our whole citizen something. And one of the things he said that in terms of financing, to keep all that momentum, to keep paying, he look at that make it. And, so that make it, he had to let that party to the other, and then he was formed a new political party again. So all in all, when it come to spending all politics in Liberia, political institute in Liberia, everything left with the standard bearer. That's how when people go into the agreement, especially in Liberia, they go through the coalition. They try to establish, they try to get a kickback from out of here. Okay, if I give my support to you, at the end of the day, I want you to administrate. Yeah. I want you to agency. I want to be the director. They go into the agreement. At the end of the day, they get it. And that just when they pre-Johnson, we are CDC play so many people off.
Yeah.
That a lot of people gave their support to them. Based upon that, also get certain reward. But when the garden got that, they put their feet in that thing, they play so many people off. They didn't get that reward. So that's the city they did with Prince Johnson. That Prince Johnson and Ben Salah, that Prince Johnson also make a case to the Treasury Department. And I don't know whether our justice ministry have any kind of policy in place to investigate campaign financing or not in Liberia. Those are so I want to ask Sissy, that question was Sissy was making, talking about his experience went through America and whatsoever. What do they have a process where after campaign you submit every document for them to review it to make sure that you're fall in line with the law?
The only thing on the books is that we don't allow foreign financing of campaigns.
Yeah.
But there is no reporting. There's no reporting mechanism that checks that. So, for example, all of these political candidates that are coming to the U.S. and collecting money, there is no reporting mechanism that say an American or somebody else didn't donate money to those campaigns. There's nothing.
George Soros supported Madame Salif.
So I mean, these are the things I'm talking. Pre-Johnson too. They see pre-Johnson there, or labor. They see pre-Johnson there when we were advocating for dual citizenship in Liberia. When I held a delegation, they may throw me out of your office.
They may hear about you.
He threw me out of your office. Yeah, he said I should get outside your office. Say, I don't support your dual citizenship. You're not going to say that I corrupt the country, you're holding dual citizenship. Get outside my office. Yeah.
They may hear your speech as the chairman of ULA board,
so,
and he knew where you were coming from.
So these are the things. Country they just light up a way,
All right. Okay. Well, it's a day after Thanksgiving, so I think we need to give ourselves a little freedom here to move around. So we'll just call it quit tonight. It's about 9 o'clock Eastern time, which is 8 o'clock in Sissy's area, of course. So let me just go to Mr. Judge. What will be your closing here then?
Yeah, we didn't touch on something. I saw one of the Mr. Liar man, Samuel 12, yesterday today lying again. They got lied from all sides of his mouth. My mind used to say, when Samuel 12 tell you money, make sure you open the door to see what there's daylight. Samuel 12 standing in front of the Liberian Senate, saying that they have paid for October, November, but there were some glitches in there, while other people were not being paid again, there were glitches that he tried to fix. But at the same time, this man talk about that his stamp stolen. The stamp of the finance minister, he doesn't know how it was stolen. And he had never instituted an investigation into his office to see how that stamp left that office. And nobody in the Senate will question this man on those kind of critical issues. That it made me to wonder, what is the representation of these people? The question is, our people listening to these people who the God as representative representing in this AUKUS body, the Liberian Senate, that the minister will come and say these things and nobody question him. If you say this is missing from your office, what have you done to make sure that that incident doesn't occur again? But nobody. The minister, he said they are paid people. Staffer in senator office said they are not taking pay. Even a senator is saying that my staffer are not taking pay, but the senator now had the guts to ask the minister. So it's just sad for us as a country that you see people who are highly educated, supposed to be highly educated to run a country, and they're treating the country not even like a farm, because they will not run the farm like that, but they treat the country like we don't care about this place here. We just have to get what we can get and move on. But again, our people, they should continue to listen to some of us. They may not agree with they may not agree with us on everything, but I think some of them will say makes sense. And if they would just take those ones and try to compare themselves, their life, where they find themselves in, the condition where they find themselves in 5 years today, compare yourself 5 years and today. What are the changes that you are seeing in your life? Your children, what feature you think this administration will offer for them? So I just want to leave it on that note.
Okay. All right. Cesar, let's come to you.
So I don't want to dwell too much on the disciple of the Church of Bahubah, Mr. Tue or Alibaba, or according to his former best friend Eugene Fagon Papue. And you know, the liberal, I pushed back on you the other day when you called that man smart. I say he's not smart, he's cunning. He is a student companion intellectual. You know, the student companion which they buy from other the Ministry of Education there.
Yeah.
They memorize the whole day. He's smart. No, he's not. He's
a student
companion intellectual. Having said that, I have been the last few days kind of like retrospecting on the conundrum that this kid from Cameroon who played for Switzerland found himself in. Born to Cameroonian father in Cameroon and played for Switzerland and scored on Cameroon. The only lone goal that defeated Cameroon was scored by a Cameroonian. And I watched on Facebook where some Cameroonians went to protest at his father's house.
Yeah.
And as the story goes, that this kid reached out to his father and said, I want to play for Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
And his father reached out to the football authorities in Cameroon and they said, oh, we need to have a negotiation, you know, which is bribery. And I'm here sitting and thinking about not just soccer.
Yeah.
But how many other African professionals, if you watch the World Cup stage, I would say the majority of the teams in the World Cup have African players.
Yeah.
Yet the African teams that they should have played on are not doing so well. In this country, we have a genius visa. America offers visa to geniuses, and they poach smart people from across the world, give them visa, bring them to America, give them access to research universities, and they use them. So how many other Cameroonian kids in education, in technology, in medicine, in everything that is in the diaspora right now? Here is a Dr. Tutu. He's here teaching at an American university, teaching white people versus going back to Liberia and teaching Liberians. Have we given him the access that kid asked for before scoring goals scoring the goal that defeated his own country? And he couldn't even celebrate because his student put his hands up like he was split inside.
Yeah.
How many Liberians in the diaspora are split inside when we have to sit here and we are the expert. We go to tables and people call on us and say, like my brother, Dr. Nyan Duba, right? That boy who has so many patents, right? And but we don't recognize him. We don't call him. We elevate the minuscule. We elevate the people who are doing the bare minimum, but we ostracize our experts. There is a Dr. Tuktu. There's a Aziva Tukpa. There are Dr. This. There are so many people who are smart people in their fields that are respected outside of Liberia that Liberia is not recognizing. Are they waiting for the day where an Liberian intellectual will score against Liberia intellectually, and then create a problem for that Liberian to celebrate their own goal? Because this kid couldn't even celebrate his goal in the World Cup. So for me, that is the one thing that has been bothering me. Is would there come a time one day, me, Sisi Goya, as a math teacher in the state of Minnesota, doing all of the things that I do, that I will be forced one day to pick a side when Liberia is competing against America for something. And I say I want to go with America, and I know it's a great thing. It elevates me and my family, but I will be ashamed to put it out there because it would mean me taking sides against my country of birth. I think this is what all African countries need to look at, but particularly Liberia, where because of the Civil War, there was a flight of intelligence. And there's a lot of Liberians across the globe that are doing marvelous things. There are experts in their field, but we are forcing them to take sides. And unfortunately, we are building roadblocks against them taking the Liberian side. And we will force these intellectuals and these professionals to have to one day score on us from the other side. And then we're going to go to their houses and try to protest.
Thank you, Sisi. Go ahead. What will be your closing for the evening?
Yeah, to just take over, say, it kind of very heartbreaking. I followed that same story about, I think I did a post about our kid also too from Switzerland. So can you imagine that's the only that kid from Cameroon? That work also who even the guy that's for the host country or Qatar or from Ghana. So you can see how African young talent are just being spread all around Africa because what our African government don't want to produce that environment, for those kids to be successful. Even that when they just talk about other intellectual activity in the country that can be pretty successful without just it's so sad. Look at our own Liberia. Look at how long the struggle would talk to African for dual citizenship to be successful. That's just another thing. Where there were certain people that just say, what, we cannot allow you people to come here to be a dual citizen, to be a citizen. So those are some of the difficulties. My closest even the only thing I get with President Weah, he there, whether you want to spend 40 days or 40 days in Dubai or Qatar, if you go back to Liberia, they shouldn't put the poor people on the street to go work on him. Yeah, they shouldn't do that to the people. They just go easy, they just enter the country easy, then security poor picking for royalty and take it to your house. They shouldn't go take poor students to go land the street and people to go royalty to go work on the president. It would not look good at all. So that's why I want to tell President Weah. You going back Liberia, just go easy. Then they just pick you from the airport, take you to your hotel, go there, the post when they get on the street.
The president is not no good demand.
It is written in the Bible for the president should not return from a 40-day trip in the middle of the night. He shall return. He shall celebrate.
Yeah, they just go easy. They shouldn't just get a poacher on the street to go work on here.
But the liberal quality thing is short to the winter about the CDC. You saw the other Nicodemus thing they did. They just had a youth congress and the women win stuff in the middle of the night.
I know. But this is
how do you see
the reason here is the day after Thanksgiving. We still have to deal with families. There are still some family members visiting and what have you. So, but we'll call it quit. Mr. So hopefully we'll be back here come Sunday, and then Monday we'll go around. I'm sure most of these stories the CDC will put up. Even when you don't talk about the elections, their convention. from now to Monday, they will put their phone in your mouth again, and a different new thing will come out. So they're very good for us.
Using number with a ticket, like hey,
yeah. By the way, I want to thank you, Mr. George. Thank you very much, Sister. Thank you, Dr. Toto. Thank you very much.
You coming to the Twin Cities or not?
The what?
Oh, asking the doctor, you coming to the Twin Cities?
No, I can be there, man.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you. Good night. Again, folks, Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again tonight. We say we appreciate you guys. Continue to follow us. Mr. So will be back here Sunday and take over his show. And we're doing our best. We want to thank you very much for tuning in to LIBERIA Public Radio. The day after Thanksgiving, please stay safe out there. And I want to thank all of you family members that were visiting, other family members calling and saying how you're doing, everything, being in touch with each other. I think it's a wonderful thing. We want to thank you very much. Let's continue to be in touch with each other. We also should continue to pray for each other and pray for the country of Republic of Liberia as well. And that is the United States as well. So I want to thank all of you, and we'll say good night to all of you again. Thank you very much, and good night, folks. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. And we'll just say thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So let's go ahead and
Around the water side, I love the fish we get.